The month of June has arrived, and with it, it has brought the much-needed summer hit for PS3, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Now, there are a lot of rumors surrounding this game, such as 90-minute cinematic cutscenes and a 4.6 gigabyte install that takes up to 45 minutes to complete before the game can be initially played. So what's true, and what's the usual hogwash? That's what I'm here to tell you on the Naked Review. So let's stop wasting time, and let's get to the clips.
The game says it best on the case. War has changed. Nothing could be more true about this edition of the Metal Gear Solid series. Where previous editions would find players taking long routes to avoid the enemy's line of sight, that seems to have ended for good in Metal Gear Solid 2, as this game borrows the camo system from Snake Eater and expands upon it by adding information like the threat ring. So instead of trying to avoid said enemy, I find myself crawling uncomfortably close to them. This game also has a lot more of those "oh shit, someone heard me" moments than past installments. My first time through, I killed 438 people, so having played through the game twice, I can safely say that Guns of the Patriots is a game that focuses less on avoiding the enemy, and focuses more on forcing the player to be constantly alert. Getting caught flat-footed, or freezing up when a guard approaches you, are two of the worst player reactions, and are almost guaranteed to start an alert phase, when a silenced bullet could have saved you all that hassle. Honestly, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a lot more action-oriented than it ever has been, and it plays a lot like Snake Eater meets SOCOM, especially in the over-the-shoulder aim. While this action feels out of place at times, it's just so well done in its design, it almost makes you not want to sneak at all. The gameplay. Well, let's start with how it looks. Just about the most lifelike game ever created. The graphics are just plain awesome. The environments are super detailed, animals make sounds on the solid eye radar and are easy to mistake for an enemy soldier. One time in the jungle, I found myself in a stealth struggle against what turned out to be a muskrat. What's the solid eye? It's Snake's ultra-handy new tool. It allows him a radar, binoculars, and night vision goggles. It was also the item I had equipped for about 90% of the game. When you don't have the solid eye equipped, you don't get access to your radar, which can be a huge pain since that will force you to actually see a target to be aware of its presence. This game also has one of the largest weapons categories I've yet to see in a next-gen game. Everything from the new machine pistols and customizable assault weapons to the classic Stinger missile systems, it's all in this game. For the first time in the series, every soldier drops a weapon. About time. However, these guns are digitally locked and need to be modded by Drebin before they can be used. Luckily, Drebin takes used firearms as payment. How much you make off each gun depends on how it was acquired. Killing an enemy for his weapon earns the smallest amount, 1/10 of the gun's worth. Sleeping or neutralizing an enemy earns double that, but finding a weapon without an owner yields the most, 100% of the weapon's value. The value of firearms is represented in DP, Drebin points. These points can be exchanged for new weapons, ammo, and to unlock new weapons you find in the field. You'll receive a couple hundred DP for each gun you salvage, and you'll spend anywhere between 4,000 to 75,000 DP for a new weapon. So if you want good weapons early on, killing enemies isn't an option, it's a must. Just about every Metal Gear Solid game was a solo affair, portable ops being the exception. No, I'm not referring to Metal Gear Online, we'll get to that later. In Metal Gear Solid 4, you will be given the option to fight rebels or PMCs. Fighting against the PMCs will make the rebels like you, and you can trade items with them as a reward. It's really awesome to see a group of rebels get owned, then come back to that scene in another playthrough and see what a difference a few headshots can make. However, there's also the option of using rebel attacks as a good diversion for sneaking unseen. The final new elements of gameplay are the totally revamped aiming controls. Holding L1 readies a selected weapon in third person. Pressing triangle will toggle between third person and first person mode. In third person, hitting multiple targets is a cinch, made easier with laser dot sight upgrade. In first person, you will use the good old iron sights. However, if you feel like you can't see clear enough through the sights, then you can always get a red dot sight, which makes squinting a thing of the past. The story. Well, first off, I want to reiterate, there are no spoilers in this review. Our story opens in 2014, 5 years after the Big Shell incident. Colonel Campbell has asked Otacon and yourself to participate in a UN threat assessment of private military corporation activity in the Middle East. Liquid has been confirmed as being in the Middle East, so Snake embarks to meet up with an American scout team to gather intelligence on the threat. As Act 1 opens, you'll pretty much have no idea what's going on, and you'll get dropped into a war zone. You get bits and pieces of information throughout the first act, but you get the idea of the big picture during Act 2, where the awesome story kicks in full blast. The music of Metal Gear Solid has always been a high point of the series in the fans' eyes. The new music is suitably fitting. 3 composers lend their immense talent to this project, the first 2 being Nobuko Kobori and Kazuma Jinoichi. Last but not least comes Harry Gregson Williams, the man responsible for composing a song that no Metal Gear Solid fan will forget soon, Old Snake. Along with these great new songs, classic tracks from Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, Snake Eater, and even Portable Ops return to active duty to thrill us one more time as Kojima attempts to bring together just under 2 decades of storyline, all to the brilliant music it was originally put to. The online play in Metal Gear Solid 4 occurs in a side game called Metal Gear Online. In Metal Gear Online, players take the role of a PMC soldier. This soldier can be customized from appearance to voice type and pitch. However, once you pick these options, they're pretty much set in stone. You can, however, purchase a new character slot for $6.99 from Konami. Apart from that, there is also the minor inconvenience of the player needing to make a separate account on the Konami network. Once online, there are multiple game types for the player to choose from, my personal favorite being Team Deathmatch, but there are many more, such as Base Mission and Sneaking Mission, to add some variety. Konami will also be releasing add-ons via the network in the future. Currently available, free of charge, is the Metal Gear Solid 4 Database, a virtual encyclopedia on the Metal Gear Solid universe that's available now on the PlayStation Network. So how about them install times? Well, there was an 8-minute initial install and a 3-minute install between each act, but no 45-minute install like all the rumors said. As for the 90-minute cutscenes, I would say that maybe the ending is that long, but the other long scenes are at least 2 or 3 movie scenes rolled together, and even then, none are longer than an hour. So I'm gonna have to call foul on the rumor mill. But I guess that's what you get when you gag the press. I'm looking at you, Konami. So the game is awesome. Yeah, there are a few parts that don't feel very Metal Gear Solid, but for the most part, this is the hero that we love, and this is a final mission deserving of his awesome story. Having the best graphics I've ever seen, the most fluid gameplay controls available to a video game player, and a story that's on par with most of today's novels. It just wouldn't feel right to give this game anything less than a 10 out of 10. This is the kind of next-gen game you will play again and again.